Only 1% of you guys are subscribed to the channel. Please hit the subscribe button for daily stories. A boy in my son's class has been a known bully to a few others in their class. There have been incidents of this boy choking other kids with his hands around their necks, picking up sand in the playground and rubbing it in unsuspecting kids' faces, pushing kids down the playground slide, and just overall tormenting by random punches to the arms and shoulders. My son came home and told me about the choking incident, and I was concerned. Then I heard from other parents stories of how their children has been victims of this. Then one day my son's demeanor changed. He was irritable, angry, and throwing tantrums at every little thing. We were shocked by this because he's usually pretty chill and goes with the flow. Through some interrogation I found out that he has been the victim, this little tyrant, and has been hitting him randomly throughout the day for a while. I don't know if it's just a quick jab and it never gets noticed by the teacher or what, but I believe him because of this child's known history. I emailed the teacher about the situation and let her know that I knew of other things that had happened surrounding this particular student. She said that she hadn't seen anything but that she would keep an eye out, not confirming or denying the other situations I referenced. This boy's behavior didn't change, and he has consistently been hitting my son. At this point, and after talking with other parents some more, I am extremely distraught about this. Now comes the foo. At pickup every day there is a drive-through pickup line, and a place to grab your kid when they are released on the side. There is a big lawn where they are released, and there are lots of parents who stand and talk at pickup after the kids are out. This allows the kids a little extra time to play and get some energy out. While I am there talking with a mom from my son's class, I glance across the lawn and see this boy swat my son in the back of the head. It wasn't friendly, and it certainly wasn't called for. My son turns around with a pained look, holding the back of his head, and the boy pushes him down. I excused myself from my conversation and started walking to my son, who at this point has gotten up and started running in my direction with this other boy hot on his trail. He's basically being hunted. My son runs into me, face first into my belly. I wrapped my arms around my son, look up, and the boy is still running at him, and I kicked him. I put the sole of my shoe right in his chest. Not really hard, not. This is Sparta style, but enough to knock him back and on his ass. Call it instinct, an unconscious motion, or whatever you want. I honestly don't even know if I meant to do it or not, it just happened. This was in front of about 100 people. Immediately I'm swarmed by parents asking what the fuck is wrong with me, why would I kick a child, etc. I only spent about 15 seconds trying to explain before I realized that this was a futile effort. I quickly get my son's bag and we walk to the car. By the time we get home, the principal has called my wife and is on the phone when I walk in. My wife is disgusted and mortified, and honestly so am I. It wasn't an okay thing to do, and it just happened. Hasn't been an acceptable excuse. Later that week, we were called into administration and told that they had no choice but to expel my son, admittedly through no fault of his own. There was a parent-led petition to get this done, in addition to a smear campaign against me calling me violent and unstable. This is a private school, so there really isn't due process, or whatever you would find in the public school system. It's a money and politically driven system, though I don't know if even building them a new science building would get me out of this one. If it wasn't bad enough, this has affected lots of other things, because I'm my son's baseball coach too, and this has gotten around our league. My wife is beside herself, and I don't even want to get into how that's going to play out. So this is where we are. My son will need a new school for the fall, my reputation in the community and neighborhood is shot, and my marriage is now probably in major jeopardy. All for a bully. Update: since this gained traction, I wanted to add a little more. It seems I mischaracterized my kick, as it was more sticking my foot out to put distance between him and my son. Nonetheless, there was a decent collision and he was knocked down. Some people are stuck on the smear campaign I mentioned. I don't have an arrest record, and I could find hundreds of character referrals for myself, both professionally and personally. The narrative that I am violent and unstable, though without context it may certainly seem so, is without merit and was designed to force the school to act, which was the basis for my son's expulsion. It would make sense to not want a dangerous man around children, if that were actually the case. Others seem to think that I feel what I did was okay. It's not, and I've said so numerous times. Sometimes things happen and I'm ready to accept whatever comes my way. I'm not dodging accountability. I retained counsel after the incident for 2 reasons. First, of course, if anything should come my way from this, whether criminally or civilly, but it seems unlikely as these people don't like involving outside entities into their business. Secondly, to see if there is any recourse against the school. For this reason, I'm not going to name and shame, as some people here have suggested. There is CCTV everywhere, including the pickup area and playground. My attorneys have requested it. We'll see how that plays out. Also, we all do what we feel is best for our children, so fuck the people making private school comments and insinuating that somehow we all deserve to be in this situation because of where we chose to put our son. As for the bully's family, they have similar means to us and to my knowledge haven't donated any more money than we have. I don't know the parents personally, but something tells me I will eventually. Something also tells me the parents are going to be much like their son. My wife is mad for several reasons, obviously. She's not wild about what I did, but also that this is affecting other parts of our lives. Since this has happened, she's been side-eyed at the grocery store, getting coffee, basically anywhere she runs into parents from the school. She is embarrassed, mad at the school, mad at my reaction, and mad at everyone's reaction as well. I don't blame her a bit. The fallout from this will most likely be far-reaching. My wife and I had a talk with our son, first about why he can't go back to his school. I took all the responsibility and he is very upset about it. I haven't told him that I probably can't be his baseball coach anymore. He understands what I did and why it was wrong, but also thanked me a few days later when we were talking about it. We've turned this into a teaching moment for him. About how he did everything he could by talking to us, and it was me who failed him. We also talked about the appropriate response to things like this, and how what I did wasn't okay. There is a contingent of parents rallying around us, some publicly, others in private, but they are in the minority. I feel like I'm learning who our friends really are, which I guess is a silver lining to this debacle. Lastly, we're not moving. This may be a defiant stance by me, but I'm not going to let this be any more of a disruption than it's already been. We've been in the neighborhood for a decade, our house is paid off, and I'm not going to let the way people perceive something drive us away from the life we've built. The public school we're zoned to is a good one, and it will be fine.